Drake is ruining hip hop. What up, Words Boy Charles Brown back again talking facts. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe and notification bell. Keep sending those Cashaps to CLBMG. Join the membership gang. I kind of thought it was tongue in cheek in a way when we were all sounding the alarm that hip hop was in danger last year. Like everyone was like, "Yo, we're in trouble. This guy's trying to ruin hip hop," right? I really, truly, honestly believed that most people would ignore. I didn't think the lawsuit would get beyond a petition, first of all, because it's so silly and ridiculous. But even when it turned into a lawsuit, I thought that most rational people, especially in the business world, the corporation world, would continue with business as usual in regards to this hip hop thing that has been making them money hands over fist for 30, 40 years. There's been decades that these corporations and these business individuals, right, these execs, quote unquote, have been making millions hand over fist, buying yachts and all kind of fancy gadgets and watches and beautiful homes off the strength of this thing we love called hip hop. I thought that they would ignore the warning signs from this bubble bath rapper Drake, who filed a lawsuit because he lost a battle. And we are no longer accepting people who want to challenge the theory and try to talk sense to us that somehow this is not about him losing the battle. It's some type of virtual, some type of morality war against UMG that he somehow is leading up, which he is unequipped to lead up because he's one of the most non-virtuous people in this business. So we're not accepting the conversation that this is some type of holy leverage that he's using to get everything back right for the independent artists who are being led astray and dogged out by these major labels. So we don't accept that. We don't respect it. We know exactly what it is. He lost a battle and he wants revenge, right? I want revenge, James Brown. Like, listen, I'm mad. The big payback, right? Somehow, some way, this lawsuit actually is going forward full steam ahead. It's looking like it's not. I thought personally, and I still believe it's going to get tossed. I'm just going to be honest with you. But it's not tossed yet. And we still have to have the conversation before the litigation that this thing is actually coming to fruition or however you want to say it, right? Sounded good, though. It was almost a rhyme, right? Listen. But at the end of the day, we are now seeing that the ramifications, and I know a lot of people are like in my comments, like, Charles, the lawsuit happened, the Clipse thing. We're talking about the Clipse thing with Pusha T and No Malice being dropped from Def Jam because they wanted Kendrick to censor himself, and which he really wasn't saying nothing about Drake in the first place, but they wanted Pusha T to censor Kendrick's verse, or they wasn't going to push it out. Def Jam wasn't going to put the song out. He had a song with Kendrick, and I think it says Chains and Whips or something like that, and he was going to put the song out on Def Jam, which he was signed to. They were distributing him. He had to end up paying millions of dollars, allegedly, according to, I believe, Steven Victor, right, his manager, that they had to pay big money to get off of Def Jam. Then they went to shop. They only paid big money for Pusha T. They did not pay big money for Clipse. Def Jam had really no real desire for the Clipse. The Clipse hadn't done nothing in 15 years. So they're like, we don't really need the Clipse. But we do have a solid contract with Pusha that if you want to go put this Kendrick song out, you're going to pay us. You're going to buy us out, allegedly. So if they made him buy them out, it means rather than get the millions that they were allegedly going to get with Pusha with this Kendrick verse, they were afraid to even try. They were afraid to tempt the gods of Drake and get an amendment to that lawsuit. And I know a lot of people say, well, Charles, the lawsuit happened after Pusha had this issue, but lawsuits don't happen overnight, gang. And word gets out that a lawsuit is coming, okay? Just so you guys don't understand, just you guys that don't know what's going on. The lawsuit was first a petition. That came early, right? After he lost and it was clear that he lost, he filed the petition, right? And he was talking about bots and all this stuff. They had to change the petition because they couldn't prove that there were bots. They couldn't prove that Spotify did any wrongdoing. So he had to change it. He had nothing on UMG. That's why he was looking for discovery, right? Remember all that? So all that stuff was down the pipeline. It did not happen overnight. And I'm sure UMG had wind that this lawsuit was coming. So for all the people in my comments, Charles, this was before the lawsuit. Da-da-da-da. It may have been before you heard of the lawsuit, but UMG knew the lawsuit was coming way before that happened, okay? Let me just be honest with you. So end of the day, they knew this lawsuit was coming. They were trying to duck and cover, and they were like, we're not going to egg this man on and continue this nonsense. So when he drops whatever lawsuit, it will not be due to Def Jam releasing the Clipse. This was supposed to come out last year, right? And all the people in my comments, Charles, this happened last year. It's clear. No one's confused that this happened last year. This is not. No one's confused about that. I understand. This happened last year. So I'm speaking on last year. So UMG knew the comments were the contract dispute and all that stuff was coming up. They wanted Kendrick contract, all that. They knew all that was coming down the pipeline. So they saw that this Def Jam thing was coming. They knew that Drake was not playing. They knew that he was scary enough and soft enough and had enough he had enough time in the bubble bath. He was done with that. He wanted to get back in the real world and throw some dirt on somebody's name, right? Because he lost. I'm mad, right? So they wanted to get in front of this. And they made Kendrick, they tried to make Pusha T ask Clint, they want to send this guy to approach Kendrick to clean up his verse. This is something that rappers never do, right? Even when Kanye asked Andre 3000, he said, I want to put your song, when Andre 3000 guest appeared on Kanye's song, I can't remember the name of the song off the top of my head, but when he appeared on that record, Kanye wanted to take the curse words out. But he asked him. But Kanye does weird stuff. Most rappers are not going to ask you to remove the curse words. No one does that. But Kanye asked Andre 3000, could he remove the curse words? Because Kanye was fake-ass Christian at the time. He was doing fake-ass Sunday service and fake gospel music. Now he's back to cursing and da-da-da. But for that couple months or that 1 year that he was supposed to be Christian, he wanted to remove Andre 3000's curse words. Andre 3000 politely declined, right? And I think it was The Life of the Party, if I'm not mistaken, was the song. And the song got leaked online with the curse words. Andre 3000 said, thank you. Whoever leaked that album, whoever leaked that song, thank you. Because it's silly. So you don't ask rappers to censor themselves. If you want him to make a song that don't have no cursing in it, you got to tell him that before he start writing. Like, listen, we doing this a certain way, da-da-da. Are you down? You don't let him make the song and do everything that he's going to do. Then you come back and say, yeah, can you take out the curse words? Can you censor this, da-da-da? So Pusha T was not going to do that. And for what? Why would he do that? For the bubble bath rapper and the Stooges over there at whatever, I'm not going to say whatever label it was, but we know that it was UMG and we know that it was Def Jam. Their parent company is UMG, right? And somebody over there got scared. And one of the lawyers was like, you know what? If y'all going to keep this song on here, we're going to remove you and your brother, both of y'all up out of here, right? He said, y'all can go do something else and see who else wanted. But see, what happened was they thought Pusha T wasn't valuable. They thought that they was calling it bluff. And they also thought that if putting Kendrick on there was going to agitate Drake even more, right? This is all about Drake. This whole conversation is about Drake. So what we're getting at, gang, is Drake's lawsuit is really actually real time changing how people's music comes out. How these execs in these suits and in these high rises in New York and elsewhere are now looking at the music game. They're starting to get ahead of it. They're trying to censor you. They're fine-tooth combing your lyrics now. They're going to be doing it. This has not stopped. This is going to continue. It's going to get worse. Right? If you're not talking about drilling your ops and this and that and the third, they're going to make sure, first of all, you're not coming at a sensitive rapper, right? Smoking hookah, playing gambling on stake. If you're not coming at him, because he will go to court and take you with him. So they're like, we're not doing that. We need to get far away from anything concerning this man and the lawsuit. So that's the first thing that they did, was made sure that they didn't come out and trigger something with this guy. That's not how these labels are supposed to be working. Hip hop has never ever felt like that or been pressured to go through people's lyrics. Well, we had pressure back with C. Dolores Tucker when they were steamrolling CDs on the street. That's 30 years ago, over 30 years ago, gang. And that didn't work out. They slapped the explicit lyric sticker on there, right? That was a mandate. That came from Luke Campbell and the 2 Live crew, using dirty words, right? Using explicit language and very vulgar terms, right? So they put the explicit language, slapped that on there, and CDs continued to pump out. It was way too much money. We had Dan Quayle and all these people coming out against hip-hop in and of itself. But you know what? Nobody ever changed their lyrics. Nobody ever went up and said, bro, can you censor yourself? So this was not a thing. And the companies did not fold. Time Warner and all these different other companies, they did not fold. And they folded a little bit because they were Cop Killer and this and that. They try to pull some stuff off the shelves and da-da-da. They kowtowed to pressure, but they didn't stop. We still got gangster rap after that. We still got unfiltered hip hop, right? Yeah, the corporations, I'm not gonna lie to you, they was a little shook. Let's just be honest. But at the end of the day, they kept putting out the music, and for a time it was good. And for all these years, you got to remember, you still got DMX, you still got Scarface, you still got Redman, you still got a lot of Eazy-E, a lot of Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre and them was killing women in the car and throwing them out on the curb, said, go pull up and get another one. So it didn't stop nothing. It didn't stop Interscope, didn't stop Jimmy Iovine. Didn't stop Aftermath. Damn sure didn't stop Eminem, who turned it up a notch. Whatever they was mad about, he made it worse. Right? He made it worse. Oh, you don't want me to say that? I'll say it twice. So it did not stop hip hop. Okay. So at the end of the day, we were still able to spit what we wanted to spit and do what we wanted to do, and the record labels just sat back, counted their money. Still had their tuna tartare and all this other stuff that they had, their pate and their sushi and then freaking their escargot, right? They still was able to eat good, do these lavish parties, snort a lot of cocaine and all this other good shit, right? Go to Diddy's party, then Diddy's after party and the party after the party. It never stopped. So hip hop never had this shit that's going on right now with this lawsuit. Now they're going to start trying to burn you. They're going to try to make you leave the label or shelf you. Right, Pusha T had enough money. So imagine if Pusha T didn't go to Rock Nation and get Jay and Rock Nation to put up some, I don't know how much they put. They say it's millions upon millions, like wild fucking money to buy him out of the contract. If he didn't have Rock Nation, which is Jay is his man, we know that. And I'm not sure we're not gonna get a Jay and Pusha verse, which Jay gonna address a lot of things in that verse. That's gonna be crazy, right? But what happened? If Pusha did not have a Rock Nation, once again, Jay to the rescue, if Pusha didn't have a Rock Nation to pick up the slack of that contract and put Kendrick on there, which is any artist's dream right now to get a Kendrick verse, right? If they didn't have Jay to come in and do whatever he did, right? He'd be shelled right now. Or he'd be forced to drop the song without Kendrick or forced to drop the whole project. And that's censorship. And that's what we're facing right now. Everybody who don't got a Jay-Z to swoop in, everybody who don't got a couple million in the bank to throw at the label so they can put their product out the way they see fit, they're gonna be stuck. Now you're gonna say, Charles, well, why won't you just do independent? Yeah, a lot of people, I say that, go independent. But at the same time, everybody ain't built for independent. A lot of these guys will go independent and go broke. A lot of these rappers that you saw that was popping during SoundCloud, this, that, and the third, a lot of them was independent. Right? It was independent. A lot of them guys, you guys are cruel to independent artists. You guys are real cruel. As soon as they, listen, that academic shit about first week sale, as soon as they get a joint and they only do 1,500, Nav sells 15,000. Like they do 10,000, 15,000. You guys are brutal. So you don't give them a chance. You don't let them breathe. You're mean, you're nasty. You go online, you say, he dropped double wood, ha. It's all funny when a guy don't do those numbers. So it's easy to say, yo, rappers should just go independent. A lot of dudes ain't strong enough to go independent in their mind because they won't grind it out. You could take an album and grind it out for a year, make the same money, if not more than a major label do, but he gonna look better because they gonna buy his shit up and he gonna do 75,000, 85,000 week one. You're gonna be like, okay, that's decent numbers. Yo, this is first project, You're gonna make all kind of excuses. Yo, the features, and then you're gonna go keep playing it before you look up. His thing done did 200,000, 300,000. Before you know it, 6, 7 months, now the joint popping. He on tour, You're not gonna let him do that as an independent artist. You clowning dudes, you making dudes feel inferior. Look at P&B Rock. He was like, yo, everybody turned their back on me. He up in the damn Waffle House with his chains on. You know what I'm saying? So it's like still trying to look rich. Like there's no reason. You don't need to look rich. Just focus and get your music right. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you guys aren't allowing guys to do independent. A lot of people still doing it regardless. We got the whole Griselda, right? You got West Side. I'm not sure if Freddie Gibbs is independent, but I believe he is. So there's a lot of people doing independent music that's still doing their thing. But those are decidedly underground acts who are underground regardless. And even West Side Gun went to Def Jam and ended up getting off, if I'm not mistaken, bugging out, right? Def Jam and they went to Shady Aftermath. They did they tried to label the major label thing, and for this reason right here, they out of touching these offices, gang. I'm just gonna be honest, and they're not gonna be any better at what they're doing. Seeing that this lawsuit is lingering out there and the bubble bag rapper is adding people, adding amendments to the amendment, and he'll pull it, they'll add more stuff. So they're like, yo, he's lurking out here. This dude like the boogeyman right now. This dude is the Joker right now, right? These guys up in these offices, they do not want to lose their pate spread like, with the Ritz crackers or whatever they got going. They do not want to lose that, right? The girlie by the pool, these guys got a lot to lose. They got a lot at stake. So they don't want to come in and have to go explain to the lawyers why Drake got them in a lawsuit. So they'd rather not put it out. And this is where we at now. Rappers are going to have to be mad scary about what they're saying and doing. Before they had to worry about, okay, they're going to use it against you in court. Well, Pusha T ain't going to nobody's court. I'm talking about for like against you in a legal way where you're on trial. right? They were using your lyrics against you. First of all, you had to worry about that. Yo, they're going to use my rhymes against me about having me on trial for some murder for my life, for the rest of my life. I'm worrying about you. They're using my lyrics against me like Young Thug. But now it's going to be, no, we ain't worried about that. We worried about you saying something crazy to one of these guys that'll probably sue us. The word sue never came into play into hip-hop until right now with the bubble bath Canadian rapper who doesn't understand the rules of hip-hop. He don't realize he messed up the game real bad. Because people still want these major contracts. I know a lot of people still talk a lot of junk like, yo, I do it myself, I'm independent, da-da-da. But a lot of these dudes still behind the scenes, be honest, you saw a lot of your favorites in the last 5 years go get that record deal, right? Am I bugging out? You saw a lot of your favorite artists end up signed to a major. So it ain't that easy to just say, well, I'll do it myself. I'm independent, da-da-da. These guys is lurking, and them record labels is lurking, gang. They listen, we can get you this, we can get you that. We got 35, 45, 55 years of people in places that you can never get. You can't do it by yourself. Come on, let me hold your hand. I'll walk you through. We're going to get you first week sales. We're going to get you a Billboard, da-da. It's a lot to live up to. So they talking these guys down. They walking them down, right? So it's like, listen, they really, really sweet talking a lot of your favorite artists. So when they get these deals, then they can shut them down and be like, yo, you can't do this, you can't do that. Now he locked in. Now they telling you pay $3 million or we're gonna shelf your album. It's scary, gang. Hip hop right now is really bad. I just saw Redman put out one of the best albums of his career. He did it independent. You know what I mean? He's not on Def Jam no more. But at the same time, would he be able to do that? And they've always had issues. They've been saying since the 90s, yo, the label won't let me do this. The label won't, you know what I'm saying? They be crying, da, da, da. And even independent artists be sometimes, I guess SZA was always upset. She wasn't getting released right. And all these, it's just like, and was it Megan Thee Stallion saying, they won't let me drop, da, da. So it's like, yeah, I get it. It's a lot of artists was saying, I heard about 5 artists last year talking about they won't let me drop, da, da, da. So it's like when you are controlled by somebody over you, that's where the problems begin. So now hip hop is being controlled. They got overlords right now. And we kind of to blame because we don't check the overlords. We let them run with impunity, right? This is our thing. We the ones go streaming and this and that and third, but we don't demand nothing. Half of you guys, if not more, are making excuses for what happened over this last couple months. You're making excuses for this guy. Well, it's because da-da-da. You're making excuses that Drake can make this lawsuit and make it worse for everybody. So we're not even on one accord as a culture, right? At the end of the day, the culture knows who's really about this culture life. But at the same time, those people that's not about the culture are allowed to infiltrate our means as well. They get in the comments, they get in the emails and texts, and they're able to make their little weird, uninformed stances and thoughts to permeate what the culture said. The culture says, no snitching. Guess what? Everybody's snitching, right? Depending on if you're looking at snitching a certain kind of way. Culture says you can't sue for losing a battle. Guess what? Everybody coming out this way in the third, da-da-da. They got something to say to co-sign it, da-da-da. The culture's not on the same accord as it used to be, right? People like myself, we know the code, but some of y'all never knew it. So now we're sitting here trying to figure out, yo, is this lawsuit bad or good? Like, is he really helping? No, he's not helping. He's hurting you. He's hurting me. He's hurting every artist that has any type of music coming out because now they can start freezing you out on Spotify and everything else. This game is rigged, gang. So whoever says what is what, that's what it's going to be. So if Spotify start acting like we don't want to get sued either, right? You saw he had Spotify in a lawsuit. We don't want to get sued, so we might start looking at things a certain kind of way that we're not going to be letting certain things hit the website and get streams, and then that's a ripple effect. So this lawsuit is going across all kinds of areas and levels in this game where we're not going to be able to control it no more. You got to think the corporations have been in control of hip hop since the 80s, but they've been more lenient than they are about to be. It's about to be a thing where, let me run these lyrics through the freaking AI, and we're gonna see what's in here that we can decipher that you could be saying something because they don't know really what dudes is really saying. So they got to figure. Somebody got to tell them half the shit we're saying. So they got to figure it out. So they running through the AI, say, yo, did you just speak on Lil Durks Trial? Like it's going to be where they're telling you, I don't think. Let me run it through legal, and we're going to get back to you next week. We'll let you know if you can say that, if it's possible, if that line's going to fly, then you're good. But until we get through legal and let them, they're going to fine tooth comb this, and we're going to see where it goes, and we'll give us 2 weeks. We'll get, everything's going to be okay. It's just one point of contention, and after that, good to go, right? Now you got to wait on Todd and legal, right? To say, well, this line, he was talking about whatever, Megan on this. He was talking about freaking Tory. No, we can't let it fly because we might get sued. Now it's going to be more legal jargon than rapping. And we got the bubble bath rapper to thank. Once again, destroying everything that we love, right? You ruin everything. Like, listen, this guy does not understand this craft, and I'm done talking about him as a rapper, a hip hopper. This guy is a pop star using pop star mentality. This is some shit Britney Spears would do, right? What would Britney do, right? It's Christina Aguilera would do this. Actually, it's Christina Aguilera might clap back. Like Mariah clap back. She might write something to listen, you bum mother. Like, she might clap back, so I don't know. But this is the pop star bringing in his legal team, getting in, messing up what we already established. He didn't get it back in the control verse. He didn't understand what was going on, so he took offense, and he went on a 10-year little Cold War, and the 10-year Cold War ended up with a thrashing, and then he went straight to court. So he was never involved in this culture, but now it's going to have a ripple effect in our culture where the artists that do want these record deals, whether you feel they're good or not, some people benefit from these record deals, and now they're going to have trouble at these labels. And I know what you're going to say, well, F the labels, it sounds good, so let's see what happens. Let's see if we get F the labels and see if you're going to support somebody who dropped first week and it's 5,000 sold the first week. Let's see if you're going to support them and say, you know what, that's okay, Benny. We riding with you either way. I'm streaming, da-da-da. The way y'all get behind the bubble bath rapper and y'all sit there and put it on repeat for 24 hours straight, right? Y'all won't do that for nobody else, but you'll do that for the bubble bath rapper. You'll get there and no kid's gonna go. Like every day you got 4 phones. I got 4 phones. Bang, bang, bang. Let me just keep pressing play, until the joint is number 1 or whatever you want to call it, right? It's a fake number 1. If I got to get all of y'all to go 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to keep putting it over and over and repeat, that's not a real number 1, is it? No, that's some bullshit. But that's what they're doing to get this thing to keep going. They're focusing on one song at a time. But you won't do that for these underground guys. That's why they got to sit here and be beholden to this dumbass lawsuit. So now hip hop is in trouble. I'm just gonna be honest. It's never gonna be in trouble on the ground level. We gonna always control this. We always control it. Ain't going nowhere. They can't take nothing from us. But to reach another level is, believe it or not, it's monetary gain. It's corporate level configurations that will move the needle for your music to be seen and heard by a bigger audience. That's what people really want in this business. And at that point, you got to sit down with somebody, got on Argyle socks and a freaking some hush puppies and a freaking, you know what I'm saying? One of them cardigans, and you got to sit down with him and convince him, yeah, that we could do 200,000. Like, you got to sit down and convince that dude. And he don't want to hear nothing about nothing in that paperwork or all them rhymes that's going to get him in legal trouble. So now we're going into a whole different world, and we got the bubble bath rapper to thank gang, and it's just going to get worse. So I'm going to leave it at this, man. You let me know what you think in the comments. Is he destroying it? Is he ruining it? Or does he matter at all? Let me know, man. CLBMG. I'm going to catch y'all on that flip, man. Make sure you go over to black-yeti.com. He said it's blowing up. He said y'all going over there like crazy. Keep going. black-yeti.com. Make sure you let them know who sent you. All right, they ship all over the country. And every Wednesday night we go live. We will be discussing this on The What Show every Wednesday night right here on this channel. All right, I'm going to catch y'all on that flip side. Peace.
Look, mission impossible to drop a few lines without dropping old times when Southern Hill was still a gold mine. When pistol grips was my shit and I sold mine. When Alias was not a show and they told mine.
Elevate your mind with high quality THC infused products. BlackYeti.com. Black-Yeti.com.
CLB.